You've seen the headlines. You've read the paper. Oh, wait, does anyone read the paper anymore? Well, you've probably seen it on Facebook. But what does a government shutdown actually mean if you're on Medicare or Social Security? Will your check still come in? Will your coverage get delayed? Well, we're going to talk about it today on the Howdy Neighbor Retirement Show.
It's the Howdy Neighbor Retirement Show.
Howdy neighbor, I'm Michael Andrews with Andrews Insurance and Advisory, and you're listening to the Howdy Neighbor Retirement Show. Every week we tackle real questions about retirement, Medicare, and Social Security, so you can head into retirement with more confidence and a whole lot less stress. Now, I had two great listener questions lined up for this week, one from Mike in Arizona and another one from Julie, but with everything going on in the news right now, we're going to hit pause on those and we're going to circle back next week. Because today, with a government shutdown going on, it's time for a full-blown Michael-atorial. So we're going to break down what a government shutdown could actually mean for folks who are retired or are getting close to being retired. Is it going to mess with Medicare, delay your Social Security check? Will it slow things down if you're trying to enroll? Let's dive into it. So we're going to start off with Medicare. Now, Medicare is run by CMS, which stands for the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. And since CMS is federally funded, a lot of folks are wondering, is a government shutdown going to mess with my Medicare coverage? Well, here is the short answer. Your Medicare benefits are not going to stop. Medicare is considered a mandatory program, so even if Congress can't get a budget passed, your coverage will continue. But here's where things can get a little bit sticky. When the government shuts down, CMS is required to scale back what they call non-essential operations. So that means fewer people will be answering the phones, slower processing on applications and plan changes, and delays if you're calling to get clarification or fix a mistake. And this couldn't be happening at a more inconvenient time for folks because we are knocking on the door of the Medicare annual enrollment period, which runs October 15th through December 7th. This is when millions of people are trying to switch their drug plan or Medicare Advantage coverage. So if you watched last week's show, we talked about Robert, who wrote in after getting a letter saying that his Medicare Advantage plan was being discontinued for 2026. He didn't know what that meant or what he was supposed to do next. Well, since then, I've had multiple people reach out who are on standalone Part D drug plans, and they're being dropped next year also. This isn't just a one-off case, this is a trend. So if you're listening right now and you've gotten a letter about your plan being discontinued for 2026, whether it's a Medicare Advantage plan or a drug plan, you need to start looking at your options early. With potential government shutdown delaying back-end processing and customer service at CMS, waiting until the last minute could put you in a bind. So my suggestion would be reach out to a broker who represents multiple insurance companies, someone you feel comfortable with and can trust, and let them walk you through your options early in the enrollment window before the rush hits. We're hoping this shutdown doesn't drag out any longer than it has to, but if it does, the last thing that you want is to be stuck trying to call 1-800-MEDICARE with a time-sensitive issue and no one answering on the other end. Being proactive this year could save you from a real headache. So we've talked about Medicare. Now let's talk about Social Security, because that is the other big one. Anytime the government shuts down, people will always ask the same questions. Hey, Michael, will I get my Social Security check? Once again, the short answer to this question is yes. Social Security payments will still go out on time even during a shutdown. That's because Social Security, like Medicare, is a mandatory program, and those benefits don't rely on annual budget approvals to be sent out. So if you're already receiving Social Security, your checks will continue to show up just like they always have. But just like with Medicare, the shutdown could impact staffing and support behind the scenes. So while the checks will still keep coming, here's where you might feel it. If you're in the process of applying for Social Security, if you requested a change to your benefits, or if you're trying to schedule an appointment or get help from the Social Security office. The Social Security Administration already has long wait times in normal years. Now imagine what that's going to look like with reduced staffing, furloughs, and a hiring freeze. And here's something that a lot of people don't think about. Let's say that you're planning to start Social Security soon, and this shutdown ends up causing delays in processing your application. That can mean your first check is late or that your enrollment doesn't go through as smoothly as you expected. If that's the case, you need to know this: you're not stuck. This is where working with a financial advisor can be helpful. There are strategies that can be put in place to help bridge that temporary gap. Whether it's something like temporary withdrawals from retirement accounts, adjusting your income drawdown, or using short-term reserves to keep your plan on track until Social Security kicks in. The point is, you don't have to scramble. You can plan around uncertainty, and that's a big part of what we do. So this is just another reminder that retirement isn't just about signing up for Social Security and hoping for the best. It's about building a plan that works even when the government doesn't. So let's bring this all together. A government shutdown doesn't necessarily mean your Medicare or Social Security checks are going to stop, but it can mean slower service, longer delays, and a lot more confusion. And if you're in a critical window where you're trying to apply for benefits, change a plan, or coordinate enrollment, well, that slowdown could cause you some real stress. So what can you do? First, if you've received a letter about your Medicare Advantage plan or drug plan being discontinued for 2026, don't wait. Start reviewing your options now. Talk to a broker who represents multiple companies, not just one, and get a plan in place early. The sooner you know the direction, the easier this fall will be for you. Second, if you're planning to start Social Security soon, don't just submit the paperwork and hope it all works out. Talk to someone who can help you build a short-term income plan just in case your benefits get delayed. That might mean drawing from a retirement account for a couple of months, adjusting cash flow, or tapping into savings while you wait for SSA to catch up. These are the kind of conversations that I'm having with folks every week who just want to retire without all of the chaos. So next week we will get back to our normal show format. If you got a question that you'd like me to tackle on the show, shoot me an email at michael@andrewsadv.com. I read every one of them, and I just might answer yours in a future episode. Now let me ask you this. Do you want a second opinion on your retirement plan? It doesn't cost you anything for me to take a look, but not letting me, well, that can cost you thousands. So if you're ready to take this relationship to the next level, you can call or text me at 918-842-7379. Or head over to andrewsadv.com and click on my calendar to schedule a phone call that works for you. And don't forget, the full replay of today's episode drops every Tuesday evening on the Howdy Neighbor Retirement Show Facebook page and YouTube channel. Give it a like, leave a comment, and share it with a friend who could use some good retirement advice. Thanks again for listening, and we will see you all next week right here on the Howdy Neighbor Retirement Show. Thanks.
It's the Howdy Neighbor Retirement Show, helping you plan so your money will grow. No need to worry, we'll make it clear. Medicare and retirement right here.